Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today I am going to be having a look at Lunacy Audio's CUBE Mini, which is the cut down version of their 3D sample morphing engine. So I got this on when it was on offer for about $20, and I'm glad that I didn't pay $49 for it. This review is going to be a bit brutal when it comes to what I think of it. It was on offer with also Venus Theory's new preset pack called Dust. So I got the CUBE Mini and that preset pack for, let's say, $22, which was about £19. Dust is now selling for $29 on its own. That is another 50 presets. Like the Mini is a kind of cut down version, so I'll read you a bit about what it's saying. So with an immediate accessible sonic palette for effortless creativity, we took the same award-winning engine and seamless 3D interface that powers CUBE and focused on the highest impact features to make it accessible at a lower price point. Explore over 120 production-ready presets, 35 expertly crafted sound sources, and a curated set of foundational sound design tools. CUBE is a 3D space for morphing between different samples. Each corner of the cube is a sound, and you can use the orb in the middle to blend these sounds together. The closer the orb is to a corner, the louder the sound will be. Build your own orbits or choose from 50 orbit motion paths for endless sound design possibilities. In the mini version, you're getting, like I said, 35 sampled instruments, 120 presets, 13 effects modules, 8 samplers, and you get the custom graphic engine, randomizing algorithms, eco mode, and expanding content. So we'll just have a wee look and see what the difference is between the mini and the full version. So like I said, the full version is $180. So it has 108 sound sources, 500 presets, 50 orbits, modulation, which you don't get. You get full orbit system with the orbit customizer, so you can get drag and drop audio with wave and SFZ files. So I don't know what that is. It's not a WAV file, it's a wave file. Access to all new feature updates, preset packs, and more. Yeah, so if you look at this, the full version, you've got another 2 pages up here. So it goes, you got orbits and mod. So that is kind of one of the main differences between the mini and the full version. Yeah, so it's a VST plugin for your DAW, or you can use it as a standalone, which is what I will be doing in the demo. So technical requirements. So yeah, so you got AU, VST, AAX, and standalone, and it is M1 compatible, and Windows 7 Plus. Again, supports all major DAWs, at least 4 GB RAM, 8 GB recommended, and 2 GB free of drive space. Built with Juice and Highs 2.1, whatever that is. So anyway, so there's not really a huge amount of information, I have to say, and that is some of the other expansions you can get, and they are $50. Which is quite expensive. I wasn't even going to bother doing this review, to be honest, because I hate it that much. But I thought I'd better, because if I'd paid $180 for this, I would be wanting my money back. Because it is unusual for me to really not like a piece of software this much. And it is quite unusual for me to do a negative review. But I feel as though I kind of should, because like I said, if I had paid full price for this, I wouldn't be very happy at all. So anyway, so let's have a look at CUBE in all its glory. Right, here we are in CUBE Mini, and as you can see, it is this kind of like 3D space that you can kind of move around in with your mouse. There is a lot of mouse clicking, I have to say. First thing you have to do is you can go into MIDI and you can switch on your MIDI input there. So I'm using my Complete Control S49, and also you can adjust these figures for the main CCs. You cannot actually MIDI learn these. So the main ones, if I click on this, there is no MIDI learn, but there is for some of the other effects. So for instance, if I right click the frequency, I can assign that, but you can't actually do it for the main controls, which was one of my first questions when I sort of started using this. I had to email them and say, how do I actually MIDI learn these? And you can't. So so I have set my controls in here for the main. So I've got ether is 1, macro CC is 14, the filter is 15, and the volume is 16. And then you've got the engine, the updates and info. So that is your kind of settings page. You can switch the graphic on and off. and then you've got the global controls to show them, but you don't really need to because they're there anyway. And then you've got a MIDI panic, and then you've got a little VU meter there, and you've got different colored keys depending on the preset. These colors will kind of change, and you can, when you're creating your own presets, you can kind of set up your own colors. And so I've done some presets, but I can't share them because it doesn't allow you to export presets. The only way of actually accessing more presets are by expansion packs from actual Lunacy audio. So like I said, this is the dust one that I got with it, and that is like I said, I think it's 50 from Venus Theory, and if I click on them, it'll give you a little author and notes bit there, and you can favorite them. So this is the first one of the first problem. It is if I go back to the factory ones and go to one that I have favorited, so Android Ballad, it doesn't actually tell me it's a favorite in the menu. Normally on other software that I have used, that it will actually say that this is a favorite, but it doesn't. So so that's a bit of a shame. So this is Android Ballad, and you can see the orbit motion is switched on, and there's lots of flashing lights on the cube. You can switch orbit motion off, and on the full version obviously you can go in and edit all the orbit motions and change those patterns. For instance, like I said, I can only move this kind of around in a 3D space. I can't kind of, you can change the division but on the mini version, but apart from that, and I've got my mod wheel adjusting the ether. Here, that's the ether on, and then knob 1 on the S49 is adjusting the macro, and knob 2 is the filter, and that is about it, and 3 is the volume. So you can see it's a bit flashy. And if you go hover over these, it will tell you what the preset is. 808s and earthquakes, and there's like duplications of basically the same preset. So if we go to sounds and overview, it will show you the 8 sounds that are in this. So you can have 8 in total, A to H, one for each corner, and you can see them there. So if I click on that, it'll allow me to go in and edit each one, but they're all the same. So if I pick another preset, Android Noir, two Lucio pianos and a Jupiter piano, another Industrial Park, and then 2 slow fades. So a lot of them are repeated again, and then you can add in more. If you want to add in, you could add in another preset there and just create that, and you can switch them off and on there. And there's play, off and on, solo, reverse, loop, and monophonic, and randomize. So there's a lot of randomize features in this as well. And so that is the sounds page, and then you've got your mains page, and then your effects page. So you've got filter, EQ, distortion, dynamics, chorus, delay, reverb, and limiter. The problem is that when you click on them, they don't actually switch on. You have to go to this tiny little button up here, about the size of a pinhead, and actually switch it on. Well, why not just make it so that when you click on it, it switches on? I mean, and then click it again to switch off. I mean, could they make this any smaller? I mean, that is just ridiculous. And then obviously you can switch on chorus and phase or whatever you want. And so that's so I'll cycle through them. So you've got filter, EQ, distortion, and you've got saturator, wave shaper, and bit crusher. You've got the dynamics, and you've got chorus, so you get chorus and phase. You've got delay, reverb, and then there's different presets there. So there's a whole bunch of presets there for the reverb, and then you've got limiter. So like I said, we'll see what happens because I've switched all these on. We'll just see what. Yeah, so that sounds like an ice cream van. If you're watching in America, you won't know what that is. So that's your effects page. I have not really favorited an awful lot. So a lot of these favorites are from Dust, filter by category and character, and either Eco or Lunacy picks whatever you want. And you think So for instance, if I got pads, you can see that's all the pads. So normally that's what I do. I kind of go and play the pads first, but I haven't really favorited that many because I got really bored. And that's your eco mode. So you can turn eco mode off or on, and it will take these graphics away. So that is eco mode active. I mean, I'm not really sure it's going to be that heavy on your CPU, but and then you just click it and it comes back. You've got randomized sounds, and you've got randomized orbit, and then you've got randomized effects. So at least you can kind of create your own presets quite quickly from that, and you can also switch the graphics off and on there, which is, I don't know how that's different from eco mode, but I don't know why you would want to switch it off, because obviously that is kind of one of the things that you can use to adjust. And if you press the shift key, you can bring this forward or back in the 3D space. And like I said, there is quite a lot of mouse clicking to get to the different parts of this. So you've got to click on each of these and go over you, clicking back and forward. And you've also got an ADSR there as well. So that is kind of how it works. How it sounds is another matter. So if I click on this and get rid of that, and I'll just go to, so there is an init patch, and one of the other problems, which I kind of, because I emailed them about this fairly early on. So there's a save as new preset, right? But there's not a save, a general save command. So if you are working on a preset and you save as new preset, you have to save it as a new preset every time. You can't just save and it'll come up normally when you're doing this on Native Instruments or any other VST. When you've saved it as a preset, when you click save, it will say, do you want to overwrite? And you say yes. You can't do that. So you have to save it as a new preset and name it the same thing every time you want to save it. So normally when I'm working on presets, you know, I'm adjusting it and saving it as, or saving and overwriting, I don't know how many times. So that is really annoying. I emailed them about this and they said, oh, well, yeah, it's something we're going to add in future versions. Well, it's been out for a year. I mean, how long does it take to add a save button? So that was a major issue right off the bat. Play through the first few presets just for a laugh, and you'll get an idea. So this is the first preset, right? So this is what they think is you know, this is what they're the first preset that they've picked. Now, I have over 30 preset packs, and if I was creating a preset pack, and I would not pick that as my first preset. I wouldn't have it as a preset at all. I mean, to be honest, it's dire. So that's the first preset. I'm just going to go through the first few. And as you can see, they kind of change colour depending on who's done it. They've used different colours. Right, so you've got this kind of thing going on here. And to be honest, I do find this a bit distracting. So you can kind of switch. So that's what it sounds with the motion off. And like I said, you can adjust it, so I could make it 1 bar, Aftervision, quarter, or put it up to 4 bars, slow it down, or speed it up. So I'm not really sure it's helping whichever one I pick, but never mind. So that is, so this is Afterglow. And I can adjust the, see what the macro does. Yeah, that's... So like I said, these are the first presets. And I can't remember how many it is before I actually get to one that I like. It's not that one. Yeah, so Android Ballad was the first one that I kind of liked. And I favorited it, but you can't tell. Right, so that is kind of passable. Android Noir. Let's whack the ether up and the macro. So that's quite nice. We can switch orbit on and see what we're doing. And like I said, obviously in the full version, you can actually adjust the pattern, whereas I can't do anything apart from the division. And you can switch it off back to slower or faster if you prefer as well, as opposed to division. I mean, normally you would work in divisions, but never mind. So that's Android Noir. Angelic Dust. We'll bump up the ether, which does sweet FA. So we could actually speed this up. Oh, it doesn't speed up, it just stays there. Can I move that? No. Alright, it does. Oh, I see, it's... Alright, it doesn't move until I press a key. Alright. And then it stops. Alright, okay. That's Angelic Dust. Antiquated Bellows. Well, I can't even bloody hear it. Very quiet. And where have we got to? Aphrodite. Whoa. Right, so that is probably enough of their presets. Have a look at some of the dust ones. So I favorited quite a few more of these. So this is one of Venus Theory's. And you can see the sounds there. So there's kind of 4 sounds, A, D, E, and H. Like this one, for instance. What the... exclusion zone. Right, so there's no motion on this one. Right, so the other thing is, when you look at this, you can't tell which ones are empty. So this is problem number I don't know what. Right, so when you're looking at this, you think, well, so you're supposed to drag this towards these to make them. So if I go to that, I don't know that that's empty until I go over it. So that's empty. E's got something in it. G's got something in it. Geiger's got something in it. So unless you go to sounds, you can see there that F is empty. But I can't tell from this view that there's nothing in there. And so this is the idea. You can kind of drag these around to create different versions of the sound. So that's only going to play those, but it's only actually playing that one because that one's empty. So I don't understand why these aren't a different color, or I don't know why make them somehow make it more obvious that these are actually got samples in them. I mean, there's a lot of problems with this interface that could be quite easily rectified, I think, in my humble opinion, of using I don't know how many VSTs and software plugins. So I've done 10 presets, but I can't do anything with them. I can't export them, I can't share them, I can't do anything as well. So I've used this kind of quite cool color scheme for my my ones. So if we go back to main, I've got a nice pink orb, or magenta orb I should say. So this is Army of Darkness. And the ether is not really doing much either. So let's turn the orbit on and see. So let's try another one. I can't remember which one. Oh, Asteroid City's quite good. Let's play this one. Like I said, you've got to click on. Yeah, so this is quite cool. So I like that one. Deep whale dive. I'm having a bit of a thing with whales. You may have noticed. I'm on a bit of a whale preset thing at the moment, and I'm not quite sure why. So it's pad. Let's ramp up the macro and ether. Quite a nice pad. And hidden agenda. So let's see, I mean, you can get some quite nice stuff out of this. But you're obviously a bit more limited with the mini version, which still costs $50. Like I said, the full version is 180, and for that you can get Playbox, you could get any of the Light trilogy from Native Instruments, my latest one from Westwood Instruments, Lost Synth. That's 120, I think. Right, this is Ice Caves. Lush strings. Here we go, we've got some strings. So I normally do like a string patch. Yeah, so like I said, I mean, I managed to get some quite nice stuff. As a kind of sound designer, I found this quite difficult to get, you know, really nice kind of soundscapes or what I kind of normally create. It's all a bit kind of harsh. So this is made up of 4 pianos. So I've got 4 different pianos, and some of them are reversed. So the Seconda piano is reversed. It's got ceramic keys, the Hyperon piano, and the Lucille piano. So a lot of these are created from scratch from the init program, rather than using the randomized features. But it's still a bit. Let's try putting the orbit on. Yeah. It's still not brilliant, is it? That's one of my. I mean, I was really struggling with this. Anyway, I said it doesn't matter because I can't do anything with them. Because you can only add in Lunacy audio expansion packs. You can't add in, like, I couldn't export these and sell these. So it's not really much point me buying it, the full version, because if I can't do that, then you know, I'm not going to make any money. Part of the way that I fund this channel is by you know, creating preset packs. So that is it for CUBE Mini, and as you can tell, it is possibly the most negative review I have ever done, and I do apologise to Lunacy Audio for being quite brutal, but that is just my opinion, and like I said, I do use a lot of this type of software. So and I think it's if people are going to be paying, you know, quite a large sum of money, it is worth knowing that I don't think it is necessarily worth it, and you could buy something else that I think you would get a lot more kind of usable sounds out of. That is it for this week, and as usual, if you are enjoying my videos, please like, subscribe, share, comment, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.